Back at a blustery Paarl, where New Orleans secondary need just 107 runs to win. They were efficient with the ball. Perhaps could have been tidier in the field, but nonetheless, I think their skipper, Finito Mel, when he won the toss and asked Klein Nederburg to bat, would have been very pleased to restrict the batting side to just 106 for 6 in their 20 overs.
The New Orleans bowlers were disciplined, and if there was any sort of Finito Mel, he probably pick of the bowlers for New Orleans. Bowled some really handy off spin. Fielding, as you mentioned, probably not as tidy as they'd have liked.
Immediately the edge is found.
Yeah, decision. You almost feel a decision needs to be taken by the New Orleans batting side as to how they're going to play this, because it's almost, I think it's referred to as an iffy total. You're not too sure because you shouldn't get bowled out, you should win. The next minute you back yourself into a little bit of a hole and you lose the odd wicket, a run out, or a poor decision, and the next minute you find yourself in a little bit of trouble. So I'd be interested to see how New Orleans go about this, and I'd like to think that they will show the necessary intent.
Big appeal for LBW. He's come up a long way. Oh, and he got sent back by his partner. The shy came in that was wide. There was a bit of shape. They always looked leg side-ish, but he was drawn up the pitch awaiting the decision.
I think Cliffy Isaacs had reckoned that there might have been an inside edge, and at first we could done might just have been that run out we talk about. Better throw. He was Gonski.
There it is. That's the intent that was lacking. That was a beautiful muscular blow out the middle of the bat, over the mid-on, up in the ring, and Finito Mel off the mark with a boundary.
Yeah, really happy to see that. Over-pitched. He hit straight, does Finito Mel. He said he had a really good bowling spell as captain of New Orleans, and that was critical. It was airborne, but it was straight.
In the air again, but he's pierced the gap to the offside. Brisk start this by New Orleans. A teasing chase, and the tag team have just clawed it back and keep it down to 2. That's good work in the outfield by Klein Nederburg.
I don't think he timed it as well as it did. It was airborne for a long period. Tries of catch it, maybe just a little bit out in front of him, but it did speed away. In the end, it took the tag team of Nederburg.
He's timed. 7 off that opening over from Minnow. And already the signs are there, Shukri, that they're going to have to get Mel out early, otherwise 106 isn't going to be enough, because he has shown the necessary approach in this first over. Nicely worked away, nicely worked away. No fine leg, so that'll speed away to the fence. This is a good start from New Orleans.
It is, and 2 not so clever things by the fielding side. A, delivery a little bit straight, but you've got to question the field placing. I've yet to see any of the greats in world cricket, the Dale Steins and Morne Morkels, Vernon Philanders, bowl without a fine leg. And the fine leg is now in place.
Nicely balanced stroke from Hollenbach. Stayed tall in the shot, just flicked the wrist as it went down the leg side. Oh, just short. Again favouring the leg side, Hollenbach. He went quite a way across, flicked it to square leg. That sort of chance, as half chance as it might have been, they need to take to keep in the game.
They've been... Yeah, it's quite apparent that the leg side is his favourite side, Hollenbach. Valiant attempt at square leg. And this is what you'd want to see from schoolboy cricketers, throwing themselves around.
Better length, committed to the front foot. That length was just slightly shorter, and it caused the falseness of the stroke.
I think he'll be handy to the left-hander, won't he? Cullen Hugh does come from slightly wide and angles it into the right-hander. Give the left-hander lots to think about.
Oh, nicely played. Lofts it over the inner ring as they straight onto the pads. Away for 4. He looks a very powerful player, Finito Mel. That's his second boundary. 9 from the over now. 16 for none from 2.
And that's what we've been crying out for. Finito Mel, his second boundary of the innings. This occasion, the half volley pitched on leg stump, acres of space on the onside, holds his shape, times it sweetly. Very handy start by New Orleans.
Nicely angled. Should just be one. Oh, a little fumble in the deep means they thought of coming back for the second, but the recovery was good.
Never running off a misfield is something that they might have been taught or must have been taught. Comfortable, runs it down really nicely down to third man off the full face, and then just takes his eye off it slightly, does the man at third man. And the fumble, fortunately for Klein Nederburg, doesn't cost him anything.
Another wide. Well, one of the keys to defending a score as meagre as 106 would have been, you have to get early wickets, you've got to be ultra disciplined with ball and in the field, and that's not the start that Klein Nederburg have provided. New Orleans have got off to just the start they wanted. 20 on the board inside the third over. I think he's got something on that. He went a long way across. There was a half-hearted shout. Well, the leg by is signalled. Oh, that's a big wide down the leg side. Too many already. We're in the fourth over, and that's the third wide. Good stroke. Fine legs, very fine, and that's whistled away. One bounce for four. There's something about this young man, Finito Mel, that looks very, very positive indeed.
Deals in boundary does Finito Mel. This was slightly short. And on leg stump. And again, yes, he's nice and aggressive, but there's also a poise about him, Brent.
Oh, he's a solidly built young man. He's got power, but he's got nice balance. I think, as you say, that lends itself to poise. There, easily inside the line, off the hip, down for ones. Looks in control of proceedings. He is going to be a danger as far as Klein Nederburg are concerned. They need to get rid of him quickly, otherwise this 106 will be paltry. Witboy to Hollenbach.
Oh yes.
Nicely worked again from pretty straight behind square. They'll get at least two. The tumble is from Arnoldus. Energetic fielding.
Yeah, not for the first time today. Hollenbach gets onto off stump. Straight his delivery, and he works it really well on this occasion. He's able to get through for the second.
Very gentle medium pace.
Oh yeah!
The question has been asked for some very neat glove work from Winston Freister. It was pushed wide and he was dragged forward into the stroke. Was he dragged far enough? Have they scrambled a wicket here? Let's have a look.
If you ask Winston Freister, he has no doubt that he's out. And
he looks right.
Yeah. Let's see how he goes here. Great stumping.
Yeah, it is.
Very good stumping.
Well, that's two we've seen in the match. Lindley Hendricks pulled one off for New Orleans, and there Freister does the job. Just dragged wide, little extra bounce, but it's really alert glove work. And I fancy Hollenbach is going to be given his marching orders.
Of that, there's little doubt. A few things he had to contend with. The extra bounce, slightly wide of off stump, but he gathered it very cleanly. And in a flash, the bails were whipped off, and Hollenbach, he will pretty much be sent on his way. Specsavers, they'll tell us. I wonder what Hollenbach is thinking.
He's never experienced this before, where an umpire doesn't give him out, he refers it, and now he's got to wait. Heart beating for this decision, hoping above all hope that he gets a positive. And I don't think he's even going to see it from the TV screen. And he's given out by Earl Hendricks. Delight for Klein Nederburg. That lifts the morale enormously, and it's thanks to some very smart glove work from the wicketkeeper Winston Freister.
Very smart glove work, yes. And again, the delivery outside of off stump, not the area that Hollenbach wants to be playing in. Was pushed wider, foot was dragged, and in a flash, Freister had the bails off. End of Bradman Hollenbach, he's gone for 11. And New Orleans 31 for 1.
Carl Manuel goes in at number 3, just a 15-year-old. So many years in the first team ahead of him.
Cries of catcher, that's punched away, that's good. That's important. It's really important the skipper gets 1 or 2 boundaries away at this stage, because we've got to keep an eye on the Duckworth-Lewis, which is pretty much neck and neck right now, it's got to be said.
It's looked good though, Finito Mel. Played some nice shots. Looked a strong boy. He can hit the ball off to the fence. 21 from his 17. Is it 4 of the 5 fours that have come in this innings?
That's a good comeback. A boundary off the first ball of the over, then 5 dot balls. That's nicely done. 6 overs gone, 37 for 1. The batting power play is now completed.
Oh yes!
Nicely bowled, nicely flighted. Side to scoot back for the second. So it's a double whammy, Pommy. They've got to make sure they score some runs, but don't lose another wicket. Because if they lose wickets quickly, then suddenly that pass score zips up considerably. They'll have to keep an eye on the weather. That's why they're hustling.
Oh.
Oh, slight hesitation, direct hit. Clean pick up for starters and a direct hit. I think would have found the batsman wanting. 5 from that over, 7 gone, 42 for 1. Something that should be considered pretty comfortable by New Orleans. All these wickets in hand, but as we saw in the first innings of this game, if the side happens to lose 3 or 4 quick ones, pretty strange things can happen.
Yes, no run!
And I'll be interested, Pommy, to have a look at the off-spinner for Klein Nederburg, because his name is September.
And the one for Klein Nederburg.
Yes, as well. Oh, there's an edge. Fine edge. They might be able to scamper back for the second. They probably should, yes. Didn't run the first one particularly hard, but then decided Manuel to slip into gear and come back for the second.
Yeah, there's the nick. I wonder if we'll see it right till the end, because as he runs back and the ball's thrown back, he just flicks his bat at it as the keeper takes it.
Eased away on the leg side, airborne for a while, but it's nicely played. The outfield is reasonably fast, and that's going to win, I think. Yes, it does. So that's a boundary. That's what he's looking for.
It does look a strong boy, does Finito Mel. That's a nice shot. Dive in vain.
Lancing makes that into a full toss, scampers through for the quick single. Oh, gives the bowler a bit of a hip and shoulder and a bit of a stare as well, the big fella.
Oh, hello. There's another look. Yeah, it's not too adept at putting those full tosses away. He's got a few of them, Finito Mel. Would have been out too.
Only one winner there, I think. Full toss. Didn't quite get there. Should have saved the boundary, I guess, but intent on going for the catch.
Effort, boy, effort.
That struck sweetly. Yes, in the air, probably should be caught. Oh, unfortunate. Had to go to his left and low down. And in the end, doesn't quite get there. Yep, doesn't get there in time. It goes for 4.
Yes.
That's nicely nudged as well. It's off to the fence. And it's going to get there. 4 runs, 2 in a row.
Get it in, get it in.
Pedal to the metal for Finito Mel. Yeah, on to 35. Really good work, leading from the front.
Kom nou tijd, kom nou tijd. Ons dankie boy, ons dankie ne.
And he finds the gap again, and the timing is good. The chasers are teasing one, they both dive, but the ball wins. This is a big over for New Orleans, appreciated in the dugout. They are in complete control.
Yeah, Finito Mel is really putting the Klein Nederburg bowlers to the sword. It's gone for 3 fours and the 2, so 14 off the 4 deliveries thus far. It's a big over for New Orleans.
Oh yeah!
Turned away, but short of the man at square leg.
Now, this will be a challenge for both Manuel and Mel. As soon as the pace gets taken off the ball, schoolboy players.
Oh yeah!
Big appeal, that's close. No is the answer, but that was worth a shout. And they'll ask again, and again the reply will be no.
Spinning in Webbia is Kewan Sampson. One thing, he's got the ball, he's above the eye line, he's spun it. This occasion again, definitely missing leg stump.
Oh yeah!
An appeal for a stumping will be reviewed.
He's convinced again. He's frustrated. He is absolutely convinced, not even considering the square leg umpire. That's fine. And more than likely, it's going to be right again.
He is indeed right again. So Manuel will be sent on the way. A second stumping in the innings for Winston Freister, this time off the bowling of Kewan Sampson. And they're trying to get the foot back. The stumps are broken. Surely he will be sent on his way.
Freister, he had no hesitation that he had his man. So the 2 wickets have gone down. Will be to 2 very good stumpings by Freister. He's gone off in celebration. Still await the decision from the 3rd umpire.
Looking at the front foot, no problem with the no. He's come down the wicket. And there, the foot's in the air when the stumps are broken. Perhaps it's where the back foot is that they wanted to look for that from, but all looks okay. Everybody's still waiting. Then just a nod is all that was necessary from our 2 match officials. And Manuel has been sent on his way. Carl Manuel out for 12. A second stumping for Winston Freister.
So the pressure of the 4 dot balls eventually playing itself out in the wicket of Carl Manuel. He's gone stumped Freister with the bowling of Sampson for 12, and New Orleans, they lose their second for 71. And Alduin Jacobs, he finds himself at the wicket.
Nicely worked away, no one on the boundary. That'll speed for 4. Margin of error small to Finito Mel. There's no one back on that onside boundary. He's in sight of a half-century.
That's right, he's 1 hit away from that half-century mark is Finito Mel. Over pitch, and the type of form he's in, he was never going to miss out.
Sampson. And that's well done from Mel. The fielders perhaps should have been more alert that he would want 1 for 50. He was more so. His teammates rise to him. That's a very fine innings from the skipper of New Orleans secondary. Finito Mel, 41 balls is all it's taken him with 9 fours. That's a fine knock, and he's now got to finish the job.
Very fine knock. And if there were a man of the match award today, Maybe he'll be right up there claiming it.
Oh, he goes big, he goes big. Has he given it away? He's given it away. Oh my word, you now know, Shukri. You know what he'll do having got to the milestone. He thinks his job's done and he's holed out at deep mid-wicket. As good as he's played, that's a naughty dismissal for Finito Mal. He's out for 50 on the dot and New Orleans are 80 for 3.
You can almost see it coming. You've seen it happen on many occasions when the milestone's reached. That was a simple enough catch. He had lots to contend with, the swirling wind. And a simple catch taken to get rid of Finito Mal. A very good innings. Comes to an end off the bowling of Sampson. He's gone for 50 and New Orleans 80 for 3.
2 new men at the crease. Lindley Hendricks is the one who's come in. But if they can whistle through a couple of tight overs, who knows? Down the ground, up in the air it goes. It's hit beautifully straight. That is beautifully played. Well, there's no nerves in that stroke. Excellent footwork. We haven't seen much of that. Down the ground it goes and struck powerfully for 6.
He asked the question, did Dylan September? He tossed it up. He was down the wicket, Lindley Hendrick, and straight as a die. Gone for 6, a very, very good cricketing shot.
Not the stroke of the day as well, because long off and long on were back, but he split them perfectly, hit it very, very straight and got enough on it to get it over the fence for 6. Gives himself a bit of room and punches it down to long off for 1. So 5 overs remain, just 16 wanted, and to take you through to the end of the match.
Never a good time to get out, particularly when one's batting well. There's a story with Finito Mal. He was going to be the man to take his side home, but perhaps decided to just have a bit of fun.
Yeah, I think he thought he had a bit of a license once he got to that 50 off 42 balls, which was very well played. But this should be a canter from here, it really should. 7 wickets in hand. A couple of batsmen who will stay positive. Halfway through the 16th over, by the way. Comparison score.
Yes, Colin.
Nederburg were 80 for 4. Just to give you an indication of where they were at this stage.
Yes.
Well, this will be tight. Oh, direct hit might have been pretty close, but he was out of those blocks smartly at the non-striker's end.
Yeah, shouldn't be a run really, not to the short fine leg, and it would have been a long way out. That's a good shot, very good shot. In the gap as well, straight back over the bowler's head, and that's 4.
It's amazing how quickly things can turn at this stage of a game. Had there been that run out, this wouldn't have happened. So they scampered the 1. Next ball, 1 bounce 4, means they're under 10 to win now. 9 to win from 21 deliveries.
That's it.
Oh, that's gone straight through for 4. Frustration out there in the middle at the moment for Klein Nederburg. New Orleans delighted with that boundary. 2nd boundary off the over.
Oh, don't try this at home.
So suddenly 11 runs off this over, still a couple of balls to go. Advancing again. Dragging that a long way onto the leg side.
Right there. No.
That's nicely worked. Some chasing to be done. Is it going to go all the way? Yes, it is, and that is the end of the match. That is terrifically played right at the end by New Orleans. They steered that beautifully. The skipper led the way right at the start, but then it was nicely finished by Hendrick. 19 off 14 balls, and Jacobs 9 off 11. So really good stuff. A quick fire stand. Didn't absorb any of the pressure. press forward and board up the victory.
Very nicely done by Lindley Hendricks. There's Finito Mel leading his troops out, and they'll be very happy. The New Orleans side. Smiles galore as they go off.
Yeah, it looked like at one stage it was going to be a little bit of a tight one towards the end perhaps, but then a couple of lusty blows certainly signalled intentions, and that last one took them over the line.
Yeah, hugs all round and high fives, no doubt, all round. Thank you also from Klein, Nederburg, to Dion Arenzer, who was helping us spot his team. Not a big smile on his face, as you can imagine, as they've been, well, annihilated really. 108 for 3 and 17 overs, all of 3 overs to spare as they knock off those runs. Mel in the runs, 50 from 42, and good knock as well, 19 from 14 by Hendricks.
And they got the partnerships right as well. Stand at 31 to start, then 40 to start for the next one. But the last stand was unfinished at 28, so partnerships we know weigh heavily. As a look at all the bowlers that were used, what do we got there? 8 with November and September into the attack. And unfortunately for them, Samson was the highest wicket taker with just a couple. So looking back at the match summary, real problems for Klein Nederburg right at the start. 106 is all they posted off their 20 overs. They did lose 6 wickets, with Titus the top score with 35. Fortain picking up a couple, and Jacobs as well. And New Orleans 108 for 3 with the skipper, 50 of 42 balls. So that's better than the runner ball from him. Samson getting a couple, but not enough wickets, as New Orleans only lost the 3. And it was finished nicely by Jacobs and Hendricks right at the start. And New Orleans won by 7 wickets.